We're live from the Traveler'S radio deck, sponsored by Big Y, and it is moving day here at the Traveler'S Championship, and it is wet and wild Saturday. We're going to be with you till 1 o'clock as they are going to start teeing off here at about 10:45. They pushed everything back.
Yeah, actually 11
o'clock. Yeah, actually I think the earliest one I'm looking at right now is 11:10. Michael Kim will be 10:59.
Yeah, right before 11.
10:59. So, right around 11, they're going to kick things off. I mean, we still have not a torrential downpour, but it's raining pretty strong. But these guys, they're out right now. They're on the driving range. They're putting. They've got their rain gear on. I think they're all used to this because they play all over the country and all over the world. So whether you're playing like the British Open or you're playing in Cromwell, Connecticut, and you're playing for $3.6 million. When I was driving in, I was thinking, hey, you didn't think it was going to be easy to make that money, did you?
Right.
So I don't think that this will bother these guys at all. In fact, I think the greens are going to be easier today to stick. It's really all about pin placement today on Saturday and Sunday to try to, maybe get about 20 under to win this tournament.
I honestly believe a lot of pressure might be on TPC River Highlands grounds crew today.
Yep.
I'm not joking about that. There's some puddles out there, and I'm not trying to say they do a bad job. They do a phenomenal job, and they've been out here since 4 in the morning in the rain trying to do every little corner they can possibly take care of before play starts. Talking to some people in the media center, they knew that this sell that we just experienced was going to come through, and that's why they bumped play back to 10:59. Right. Nothing to do with the grounds. They've got sponges out there. They've got, everything they possibly can. They got the air dryers out there. But, Debs, just looking at the practice range right now in the corner, I see some standing water. It's tough to keep up with the amount of rain that we had last night. Now, if it cools off, as far as rain goes, I shouldn't say that. If it stops raining a little bit for a while and this wind picks up, I agree with you. I think this is going to be a spongy surface. It's going to get a lot of grip for the golf ball and could possibly play around that -10 that we saw Devin McCarthy get on day one. Who knows? We got some high scores, man. A couple of -15s on the top with McCarthy and Bradley. Then you got our friend Ches Reavy at -13 in third place, and a whole host of bunch of other guys that are getting some pretty
Eric
low
Cole,
numbers.
Adam Scott, Zach Blair, all within shouting distance of the leaders. I mean, even when you go down, Victor Hovland's at 8 under, Rory McIlroy's at 8 under, Schauffele's at 8 under. So everybody, they can make some moves here today. Depending really when they go up, because at 2 o'clock it's all the way down to 30% chance of thunderstorms.
Yeah.
And then at 3 o'clock, nothing. From 3 o'clock on to the rest of the day, all the way to 8:30, the sun is supposed to be coming out and it's supposed to break up a little bit. So I don't think this is going to be a bad thing for these guys. I actually think for the guys that get out there early, the 11 o'clock, the 11:15, 11:30 guys, they're going to be loving life with the greens a little bit better than they were the first 2 days where they were dried out by the wind, and it was 82 degrees yesterday and windy and sporadic rain.
That holds true, Dibs, and I hope it does. That would bring the bottom of the pile up to the top of the pile and really even things out where we could have some kind of tie at the top. Now, we're used to that around here. Harris English knows all about that. Kramer Hickok, I think, wasn't that Hickok? That was the other player in that 8-hole playoff that we had here a couple of years ago. I would love to see that again. But Zach Johnson, Steven Yeager, Kyle Reiters are going to be kicking things off at 10:59. For you Rory McIlroy fans, 12:16 is when Rory will be teeing off. And listen to this group. He's going to be with Victor Hovland and Sungjae M.
Nice.
That's a pretty good threesome to follow if you're coming out here a little bit later in the afternoon. Some other just notable names. Scotty Scheffler will be at 11:43. He'll be playing with Aaron Ray and Tom Kim. Plus, our 2022 champion, Xander Schauffele, is with a red-hot Emiliano Grillo, and then Alex Smalley with him as well. They tee off at 11:54. Leaders won't tee off until 1 o'clock. That's Denny McCarthy, Keegan Bradley, and Ches Reavy. But should be a lot of fun, man, for the next 36 holes. I say toss all those names up and see where it lands. There's a lot of people who can still win this thing.
Well, and I think you look at these top finishers, McCarthy, Bradley, Reavy, Cole, these guys, they drove the cut line up, which knocked a lot of people out, and I think that's the big story. I mean, Colin Morikawa, he's out. Streelman out. So many big names, John Rahm out, Bo Hostler out, Homa out. I mean, so many of these guys, Tommy Fleetwood did not make the cut. They were probably thinking, yeah, 3-4 under is going to, get me into this tournament on Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
That's not the case. So many of these guys are going home and going on to the next tournament. So I love it. We've got some local guys. A couple of guys that we've already talked to. Davis Riley is still in this. Stegmeyer, Brett Stegmeyer we had on, he's still in it at -5 with a 68 and a 67. Not bad for a guy from Milford that's a club pro that really hasn't been out here on the PGA Tournament tour in 5 years.
Right.
And so he was pretty pumped.
We saw Stegmeyer. Again, Stegmeyer is one who got into Ellington Country Club and got that exemption win with the 66
on Monday.
Monday, right?
Yep.
Monday. So
Yep.
then he comes out here. He gets a little practice round. I think he played both practice round days, Tuesday and Wednesday. Don't know how he did, but he was able to, feel himself out on the course. Balled out on Thursday. John and I, when we were walking back to the media lot after the show, got to see him finish 9. Just an incredible second shot. If you know the course, he's right on the buckle of the dog leg to the right. I'm talking standing on the buckle, ball below his feet. And again, we're talking about a guy who's not on the tour every single week,
right,
that doesn't have these kind of shots every single week. Puts it about 4 feet away, birdies from there. Like, this dude's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't matter right now how much money you've made in the past, what your FedEx ranking is. There's a lot of guys that people would consider no names in the PGA Tour that are making names for themselves in the first couple of days.
The other two guys that we interviewed, Davis Riley's at -7,
Dude,
and
we're
Andy
hot.
Svoboda is -7.
We're hot.
I know, and Ches Reavie, who we interviewed the year he won it, he's at -13. So a lot of people that have come through here we're pulling for. Let's just talk about Andy Svoboda. This is a guy that this is his 5th time playing in the Travelers. We're going to talk to his coach, Frank Darby, coming up here in a little bit, and he is a coach that coached at St. John's for many, many years. He's had Keegan Bradley and Svoboda and many, many other golfers come through there. But also, you've got the fact that these guys are not on the tour, like you said. Some are, struggling. They're trying to stay on the Korn Ferry Tour. But at the same time, when you're playing in front of, your home crowd, you got $3.6 million on the line for first place, it does things to you. And maybe you focus a little bit more. Maybe you lock it in a little bit more. And these guys, they're right in the mix. And with a good showing today, they could be right there on Sunday.
And here comes the sun, Dibs. And as I say that, there goes the crowd. We had a huge crowd in here sharing our radio deck just because of the rain, man.
Oh, I thought they showed up to watch us.
No, I hate to
morning
break it
version
to
of our show.
Oh, yeah, we got a guy, yeah. But now that the sun is out, everybody's trying to run to that first tee or that 10th tee to catch up to some of these groups that are about to go off. I've been impressed by the fans. I mean, Wednesday was packed. Yesterday, they ran out of parking. Like yesterday, the general admission parking lot
by 10 a.m.
totally full.
By 10 a.m.
They had to put the peons and GA over to the VIP section. Oh, how do I feel about the general admission over here? It's been so much fun with the fans. And I was just watching, we've been out here. We've been in a little bubble away from Golf Channel, away from some of the highlights from the footage that you see. Watching it last night, some of the replays and the highlights, the fans are kind of the belle of the ball. Like everybody makes an acknowledgement of how many fans are here at the Travelers Championship. Maybe even more so than the U.S. Open and some of these bigger tournaments.
Well, because people are rabid for a pro sports team, and this is the closest thing we have to Red Sox or Yankees in Connecticut. And so every year it grows. Every year, Andy Bissett and Nathan Grube do a better job. 70 of the top 77 players that could actually be here. And so I just think that people are pumped up. Now they're starting to tee off. I can hear them.
I know.
At
Did
the
you
first
hear
tee,
that?
The roar of the crowd.
What
was
just, that?
It gives you goosebumps, man. It's like, but you know what? We're burying the lead. Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, yeah.
Have won 12 straight.
That's right.
And a kid that is a rookie in the major leagues with 15 games experience, L.A. De La Cruz. We talked about him from day one. He is exploded on the scene. Hits for the cycle in his first 4 at-bats. Joey Votto hits 2 home runs, and they needed every one of them to do that because they barely beat the Atlanta Braves to continue their winning streak. 11-10 was the final. But the more important thing is the Reds are in first place.
Wow.
They sold out the stadium last night.
That's the most important
They were
thing.
averaging about 6,000 fans a game last year. This year now they're right in the middle of the pack, averaging over 20,000 fans. So that's what happens when you put a good product on the field. And shame on Castellini's son that said, oh, these people will show up anyway. No, they weren't showing up.
Right.
But when you actually started putting some players that were playing meaningful games like last night, not just the winning streak, you're playing for first place. You're almost halfway through the season. You're right around 80 games now. So when you're still in it at the halfway point, your fans are going to start showing up. School lets out. When I was playing there, they would let out. That would add 10,000 people to the turnstile. So that's what you're looking for right now is getting more butts in the seats, more support for this team. And Joey Votto, you continue to hear him like right when we led into the show.
Big day.
It's a great day in Cincinnati now where, you can proudly display your Cincinnati colors. You're proud to be a Reds fan again, and now they're in first place in the National League Central.
Now, I would like to think that this is some baseball basics that's going on here in Cincinnati. Now, you teach me about the roster and who these guys are. Teach me about the coach as well. And I just feel like what's going on in Cincinnati right now is about 20 guys that are super hungry to be professional baseball players.
Absolutely.
And then you've got a couple of guys, Joey Votto included, that have made money but have so much
He's made
pride.
$250 million.
He has so much pride in how he wants to go out and how he wants to play baseball all throughout his career. I think it's a perfect storm right now. And then, let's just throw in an electrifying rookie that could take the league by storm. Like, everything's rocking right now in Cincinnati. I'm hoping they can keep it up. I'm seeing hats. I saw two Reds hats so far at this tournament.
At this tournament.
Cromwell, Connecticut.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I'm super happy for you guys.
Listen,
man.
you got guys like Jonathan India, Spencer Steer, Tyler Stevenson, Jake Freely. He's leading the team in almost every offensive category. You wouldn't know that because you don't hear his name, but 271, 10 homers, 46 yards. These guys are blue-collar guys. Their pitching staff is blue-collar and led by a pitcher, Diaz, that is a great closer and does a really nice job. So we constantly hear about Hunter Green, and he leads the team, and he's right up there in the league lead with 100 strikeouts, but he's on the IL. He's been backed off because of soreness right now, and he's 2-4 right now with a 3-9. He will be back. But, I mean, you've got Weaver and Ashcroft and Lively, a lot of guys that aren't household names that, like you said, they just want to stay in the big leagues.
Yeah.
When there's a sense of urgency to stay on top and stay in the big leagues, you're going to play better. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We will meet with Frank Darby from Golf Lounge 18. So when you can't get out here on the golf course, you need a place to go. Go to Golf Lounge 18. We'll be right back on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon, well, actually your morning drive now. And brought to you by the Traveler'S Radio Deck, and we're sponsored by Big Y.